Hello YouTube, you're the Dragon here. Today I'll be talking about what I carry with me on an extended day backpacking trip. Extended day backpacking trips for me are trips that last about 6 hours or longer, usually when we're doing summiting or something to that extent. First note, I didn't really put much clothing in this because this was in another video about clothing, so if you want to see like what I carry as far as clothing wise, then you can check out that video. If I have an opportunity, I'll post a link to it. But anyways, we'll get started. I carry with me a Talon 33 backpack made by Osprey. It's relatively lightweight, very comfortable. I've never had any problems with it. It holds a decent amount of gear, and I usually still have extra room to carry extra gear. I actually usually use this for really lightweight overnighters as well. But yeah, it's got a kind of a soft frame. Has a little place to hold your trekking poles. But yeah, it's just, it's a backpack. It's relatively durable. It does kind of pick up a little bit of dirt, but I'm hiking, so I can expect that. On the inside of the inner flap, there's a little pocket, and in there I also have clipped onto the zipper a nano light, just for a little backup light, just for if it's needed. But yeah, it's a good backpack. Highly recommend it. It's one of my 2 backpacks I use consistently. In there, I carry a 3-liter Osprey hydroform water bottle. I chose the hydroform because it's got a semi-rigid frame in the back, which gives a little bit of more support to the backpack. It also doesn't it doesn't slide down throughout the day as I'm draining the water out of it. Works great. It adds a little bit of weight, but I fully accept the penalty for having the little bit of extra protection on the back padding. And then it also has a little magnet on it, which allows it to clip very easily to my backpack with the little attachment they provide. Stuff inside this, I have an emergency poncho in case inclement weather, in case it rains. I usually don't carry a rain jacket with me unless I know for a fact it's going to rain. So if it just happens to turn, then I have this as a good option to use. Also, in the back flap, which on the Osprey is a separate slide holder for the water bottle, I also use, or put in there, this. It's a grabber space blanket. It's got a little, kind of like a PVC sort of tarpish material on the back. Makes it relatively stable. I don't have to worry about it tearing like most of the space blankets out there. It's got the reflective inside. This is just in case I get stuck out overnight. I'm not hoping to. Usually I plan my days, so I usually get back in the afternoon. But there is always an opportunity. So one thing I have learned is to carry extra gear and plan like if you're going to be there overnight. So this provides, some protection from the elements, cover all the basic needs. And as I said, I slide that behind this. So this usually just kind of sits on top of it. As far as I carry a knee brace with me. I usually don't wear it while I'm hiking, but it's at the very bottom of my pack because if my knee starts to get really sore, this will make sure I can give it a little bit of extra stability throughout the day. I've only used it like once or twice, but I was really grateful to have it when I did need it, because if not, it would have really slowed my progress, if not completely halted my progress without this. This is my food bag. Usually carry about a pound of food in there. I just have kind of generic things. I have peanut butter, crackers, Snickers bars, a couple of energy bars, some Slim Jims, and then I also keep extra drink mix in here so I can have electrolyte drink mix. So if you want a thorough description, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll do a more thorough description. I usually carry about a pound, just a little over a pound of food with me because it'll get me through the day, and it'll actually, if I space it out, I can use it for an overnighter pretty simply. I have a outdoor research cap. Comes with this little flap that you can attach to give your neck protection. Gets pretty sunny up on the summits, so this provides, basic protection. I actually really like this hat. It's lightweight, and this little added feature, as much as I kind of feel looks awkward at times, it works really well and it protects my neck. So after the purchase, I've definitely, the more I've used it, the more I've been happy with it as a purchase. Have Aquamira 1-ounce bottles for drops. I can probably make it down into smaller amounts, but for me it's just been convenient enough to carry the whole thing. It'll purify about 30 gallons of water, which I'm sure I won't need, but I've just been too lazy to put it into a smaller bottle. Maybe at some point in time I will, just to cut a little extra weight. For these trips, I don't worry as much about weight because I try to carry a little more weight, knowing that on my extended backpacking trips or multi-day trips, I'll already be somewhat acclimated to having some weight on me. Got a basic compass, Sunto, have attached to it ranger beads, or pace beads as some people might know them as, just so I can kind of plot direction when needed. I usually don't need it because we're on relatively well-marked trails, but I usually also carry a map with me, so if I ever do for some reason become disoriented or lost, this will help me kind of get back on track. If you do carry a compass with you, I highly recommend taking some sort of at least minimal class to know how to orient yourself with a compass and get yourself on track. It's definitely worth the time to learn that. This is my little first aid kit. In here I have a pair of tweezers, chapstick, one of those little expandable washcloths, Burt Bees hand salve. I can use that for my hands, but it's also good because I can put it on cotton and kind of make it last a little longer for fire starter. Little sewing kit. I recommend if you go and stay at a hotel, see if they have one of these little sewing kits. They're really small, really lightweight. They can help fix your gear. If you get injured, they can be used as a suture. Just a myriad of uses. Also, the needle can be used to pick out splinters, so that thing's been handy. I also keep in the back of this a signal mirror, both used as a regular mirror, but it can be used for signaling, and it also gives a little bit of rigidity to the case. Beyond that, there's basic things, wipes, anti-nausea, a lot of band-aids, ibuprofen. I also keep $20 in mixed money here in case it's needed, in case I can't make my way back to the car, but I do make my way to a place where there's a phone or a store, have a little extra money in there. So it's really handy, really lightweight. It's a lot easier than buying a first aid kit because I know what's in it and it actually just has things I need in it. Carry my license with a single credit card, a little bit of money, and my insurance card. Obvious reasons to carry that. It's not my whole wallet. This comes out of my wallet, so it's very convenient for that. In my pocket, I carry Bic lighter. Obvious reasons. I also carry a Phoenix E11 flashlight. I think it's 32 lumens at regular, and then you can put it up to 105 lumens. It's relatively lightweight, takes a single AA battery, lasts a relatively long time. I always have this in my pocket every day. It doesn't matter if I'm hiking or not. This is just part of my everyday carry, but it's handy for times that we do kind of take a little long and we're coming down and it's dark. In my pocket I also carry this. It's a Bark River Micro Canadian 2. This thing's really small, but it's really beefy for what it is. I mean, it's really sharp. This is pretty much, I carry this as my everyday carry blade. And when I got it, I actually thought, oh, geez, this thing's small. But as time has gone on, it's small, but it's really mighty. I mean, I use this more than any other knife that I actually own. So this thing's always in my pocket. I use the little ball chain necklace to kind of go inside a belt loop so it doesn't fall out ever. And then if I ever do get separated from my gear, I do have a small blade with me. Carry a watch cap. This one's Smart Wool. I've had mixed results with other ones, and the Smart Wool has really worked well for me. It's really lightweight, really warm. This one's long enough that it can go over my eyes, it covers my ears, so if I do get stuck out overnight, it gives me full coverage, and I can actually sleep in or do whatever I need to. But yeah, Smart Wool, it costs a little bit more, but it is definitely worth the investment. I've had this thing for well over a year, and it still looks relatively brand new. Cell phone, obvious reasons, just kind of carry it with me. Usually when I'm hiking, it's in airplane mode. But if I do end up getting stranded, I can always try to find out if there's a signal. There's a couple of trail apps that I keep on my phone that allow me to kind of follow where I'm going. So it's just something I always carry with me. Joby mini tripod for basic things. If I want to take pictures, nobody else is around, or if I want to do video or anything else like that. It goes with my camera, which is using to film this video, which is a Panasonic Lumix TS4. The camera's excellent. It's shockproof, it's waterproof down to like 30 feet, so whenever I'm near rivers or anything like that, this thing's taken a beating and it's worked great. Then while I'm hiking, I use GoFit fingerless gloves. They were cheap, got them at like Target or something like that. Use trekking poles, and so it allows my hands to kind of provides a little shock absorption, and when I do kind of scramble on rocks, it provides some protection for my palms, so it works well. If it gets chilly out, I have these, they're Manzellas, they're the warmer level. They're just basic fleece gloves, have a little bit of synthetic leather on the palm. My hands do get cold at times, especially when we leave early in the morning, so this thing works great, just basic convenience. I always recommend to have some pair of gloves with you. They can be used for some sort of utility, but for me primarily they're just for warmth. When I do carry a knife, carry this, or I also have another knife that I carry, but this one here is the Blackjack Necker. It's 154 cm, convex edge. Small, but it's definitely a robust blade, very sharp, more than enough. The back spine has enough that I can use it on a ferro rod, and it'll throw sparks well. If I don't carry this knife, I'll carry SE Azula. Both of them are great knives. I find this one just a little bit better because it's got the convex edge, and without the coating there's a little less resistance. So it's a great knife. I can highly recommend it. The only thing, I would say kind of the Azula has a little better handle, but this one definitely has a better blade function in my opinion. And here I have a little headlamp. It's just a little black diamond headlamp. Weighs like an ounce, ounce and a half. It's only like 10 lumens. But as I said, occasionally if we're out there late, or if I do get stuck out overnight, it's good to have light for the trail if you're trying to make your way out still. And if not, if you're going to be staying overnight, it provides enough light for you to get by on. This is just, I believe it's called Spuds. It's a little cloth. Use it to clean up my sunglasses, wipe the lens off my camera if need be. It's handy. I just clip it onto the outside of my backpack. It has this little clip on the back. Works great. This toilet paper, obvious reasons, can be used for tinder, but I just use it for the obvious reasons. I also carry a single grocery bag. This is for if I'm walking along the trail and I come across trash of other people, I can pop this out and fill up the trash and throw it in my backpack without worrying about getting anything in my backpack. When you're on trail, I highly recommend carrying one of these because we want our trails to be clean, and this gives us the opportunity to kind of clean up even after other people, to kind of keep our trails clean. Could also be used if I do get stranded out as something to carry anything, edibles that I can find or whatever, and kind of keep them in there. But works great. Can also be used for solar still. This is it's a buff style neck gaiter. It's really thin, polyester, a little bit of stretch. I believe this one's made by For Fun. I actually got this at a little side store in the mall. Whereas a buff usually costs $20 or more, this cost me $4. So for $4, I actually picked up 3 of them. I keep one in each one of my backpacks, and then I have one for everyday use if I'm going out and doing something where I think it would be necessary. But it works great. I highly recommend them. If you don't use that, I'll give them a try. They're definitely worth a try. This is an REI Light Core Sit Pad. It's 1.5 inch. This is somewhat of a luxury item. But when you're up on peaks, they tend to be rocky. This gives you guaranteed a nice, comfortable place to sit. And then if you do get stuck out overnight, it can be used as a pillow. Could provide a little bit of padding under your hips. But yeah, I found that bringing a sit pad of some sort is definitely very convenient, especially some of the places we hike have snow. This definitely insulates from the snow. And it's really nice. It only weighs, about 4 ounces, 4.5 ounces most. So it's convenient, but, it does come with its own little weight. This is kind of my emergency backup, so if I do get stranded out there, I like to have some items just in case. So in here, I have the Survive Outdoor Longer SOL emergency bivvy. So it'll provide, basic cover, allow me to have something to kind of pull in like a bivvy sack. So it'll provide some basic warmth. It doesn't necessarily provide comfort with that warmth. But that's something I can kind of work around on my own. I'm not planning on being there for any sort of extended stay. I'm not out there for comfort at that point in time. I'm out there just to make sure that I'm warm and I can make it through the night. So I do carry a Survive Outdoors bivvy. This is just a little card that came with my SE Azula. It's from SE, or Randall Adventure and Training. It gives you some basic measurements on the back, short-term survival tips, ground-to-air rescue signals, and some basic measurements. It's convenient, it's lightweight, so I was able to throw it in there. Carry a candle so I can make sure I can get a fire going, or at least have minimal light and heat. Carry a backup knife. This one here is a Benchmade. I believe this one is, let's see if I can find out on it. It's a Mel Purdue design. It's a little over 3-inch blade. It's really thin, really super lightweight, but it's, you know, it's not going to collapse on you. Semi-serrated. I did convex the edge on this, allow me to make fuzz sticks. As I said, I don't often carry the blackjack knife, so this gives me a knife that I can use to make fuzz sticks. I can lash it on, make a spear. Don't think I'll ever really need to do that. But it's a really nice knife. I highly recommend it. It's 154 cm. It's one of the steels I prefer. But yeah, it's an excellent knife. I can't say too much good things about it. The one thing is that with benchmade knives, they tend to be a little bit pricey, but you do get a lot of quality for that cost. The last thing two other things I have in here. Have a Cliff Bar, just a little extra food in case I've already used all this. It'll give me a little bit of food at night to kind of keep me warm at night. And last but not least is this little, it's an Altoid small, I use this to make a fire kit. Inside here I have 5 strike anywhere matches, I have a mini magnesium and ferro rod, and then I have sandpaper to use to strike the matches with. And underneath that I have a card that I cut out to kind of make a barrier, and then underneath that I have petroleum infused cotton. So I have good tinder, I have multiple ways of starting fire. I do expect that if I'm out there and I don't have a sleeping bag or anything like that with some of the places I'm at, it would definitely behoove me to have something to create fire to give myself some warmth. So yeah, that's what's kind of in my emergency bag if need be. And then let's see here, 24 ounce water bottle. This one's a polar bottle insulated. I use this to make my energy drinks, Gatorade, things of that sort, electrolyte replacement drinks. Since I don't have a metal container in this, I can use this along with my Aquamira to purify water that I come across. As I said, I'm not expecting, if I have a fire, to use it for cooking or to purify water. I'll use this to purify my water. All my food doesn't need to be cooked, it's just pre-prepped. And as I said, unless I get injured, I don't expect to be out there for anything more than 24 hours. And if I am out there for any extended period of time, multiple people at home would know where I'm at, so they'll be able to kind of contact out. Sunglasses. I have a pair of Oakley flak jacket. I've had these for years. I've replaced the lenses once. Really lightweight, good protection from sun glare, and because of their shape, it does block a decent amount of wind. Used them out in snow. Although I do have a pair of glacier glasses. If I know I'm going to be going into snow for most of the day, then I'll carry those with me. But if not, these have been my go-to glasses for at least a good 4 or 5 years now. So beyond that, I always carry a bracelet on me, one of the survival bracelets. The one I was usually carrying is similar to this one. This one's made by the Friendly Swede. They usually only have about 10 foot of cordage on it. Recently I upgraded, and so I got another one from Friendly Swede. I can make them myself, but I like to help out local businesses, and then it also allows me to kind of just spend my time doing other things because it does take a little bit of time. And this one's actually relatively innovative. It's got a lot of cordage, it's really thick, really beefy. On the inside of it they have a layer of twine which can be used as tinder, and then the dongle they use at the end is a piece of mish metal, so it's good for a flint striker. And then the holder for it is also what's used to strike it, and then on the inside of it has a little bit of a blade. So I've just been using this recently. I definitely like it. I definitely recommend it. It provides more than enough cordage to use with my tarp to set up my tarp shelter, and then having the extra fire starting ability is definitely always a bonus. I also carry recently another thing from Friendly Swede. These were Christmas presents. This is their survival grenade. A little bit of extra cordage. Inside it has a fishing kit and a couple odd doodads here and there. This would be something I carry on my person, so if I ever lose my backpack, I'll have cordage, I'll have fire starting, I'll have a small blade, I'll have light, so I at least have some basics with me. And then usually with my little emergency kit, I'll be switching out to a different bag that I recently got and I'll be doing a review on. I'll carry that in, and so it'll also be carried in my person. So even without my backpack, I'll have enough to easily go 24 hours, if not for more extended periods of time. So I think that pretty much covers it. As I said, I have clothing in the other one so you can see what I wear as far as clothing wise. But all this can easily, I mean, I believe the total weight of it is about, with the things that I've added recently, about 6 or 7 pounds, not including water. With water, it usually comes out to about 14, 15 pounds. I think the most I've ever carried on me is 17 pounds. And this is more than robust enough to do most anything I do. That's including, I do a lot of summits. The next one I'll be doing is Mount San Gorgonio. But I would even take this on if I was trying to do just a quick up and back to Whitney, I would actually be comfortable with relying on this gear. So yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to go through this with me. If you guys have any questions or comments or things that you think that would help me benefit or either lighten up or add useful things to my kit, please feel free to tell me. I'm always looking to improve. So thank you very much, and thanks for watching.